Okay, so now you know that these lasso tools are for having more exact, more precise selections. Well, sometimes a precise selection isn't exactly what you want. Maybe you want an area. So let me come here and I'm going to get, I'll get the sleeping seal and I'll get a tree happy face and I'm going to open those in Photoshop. All right. Actually, that might not be the best one. Let me close that one. All right, I'll use this one though. So let's say maybe I like having him there, but I want to be able to see some of the dock in there too. So you can see that he's actually sleeping on a dock. Well, maybe I can use one of these marquee tools. Rectangular or elliptical, really it's just personal preference as to what fits into your design. So I'm going to go ahead and do elliptical. Now, I told you about the feathering, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and feather this so that you can see a better example of how that works. And here we have right up here the style. You can do fixed ratio, fixed size, or normal. Now, if I start, I'm going to say over here because we want to make sure that the entire seal fits in, but we don't want to cut part of him off, and we don't want the selection to go outside of our boundary. Okay, so I'm going to try that one more time. Just so you know, if you hold down the Shift key while you make a circle or an elliptical marquee, it is going to create a perfect circle. And if you do it holding down the rectangular marquee, it's going to make a perfect square. The Shift key will. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go back over here to this, and here it is. Now it's a whole lot smaller than the size of the giraffe, and the reason for that is because it had two different resolutions of cameras that it used. This was a much older photo and this is a newer one, but you can see the blurred or soft edges. Now, just so that you can see, I'm going to go ahead and increase this size to more like the giraffe. Notice that it is more pixelated, you can kind of see the dots on it, and that's because I have resized it out of proportion, okay, or out of its resolution. So I'm going to move it right back there. Okay? All right, so I'm going to close this sleeping seal. I don't need it anymore, and I don't need to save it. And that was a pretty easy selection to make, so I don't need to keep it there. Okay? I am going to go ahead and choose little girl, open with Photoshop. And here she is playing with a, I don't know, a badminton racket or something. So let's say I think she's a future star. So I'm going to use my polygonal lasso tool. And I'm going to set my feather at 5 pixels. And I'm simply going to click. Whoops, did it click? There we go, click. And I'm going to make kind of a shooting star outline of her and her little boots in the middle of summer. And make sure I get her racket in there because that's part of it. All right, so there is my kind of random polygonal lasso, and then I can copy that and paste that in here. And you can see definitely the difference between the 10 pixels of the seal, or sea lion rather, and then the 5 pixels of her. A huge difference. I'm going to hold Shift while I resize. Okay, and I can move her over. Just as a reminder, each time you copy from a photograph into a blank document or into a document, it puts it on a new layer. Okay. Okay, so we've done that. Let me find one that will go good with a square. Maybe this one. This one I took outside my hotel window in New York City. And I took it because of the American flag and the tower in the background. Okay, so I'm going to use my rectangular marquee tool. And now if you think about your composition rules, and let's say I want part of this in and definitely want the flag. So I want to make sure that as I'm drawing this marquee that, that I'm getting, oh, here we go, that's why, that I'm getting it, the flag at a point in the picture where it's not smack dab in the center. And I think I got it here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. Notice on this one I did not feather the edges. And I'm going to go to this other file and I'm going to paste. Okay. And I'm going to resize this. Oops. Notice how it got fatter? That's because I let go of the shift key too early. There we go. Okay. And now we have a rectangular marquee there. And let me do one more so that you guys can see. How about I do, I'll go ahead and do me kayaking. Open with Photoshop. All right, so if I want to do like a perfect square, okay, I can use my rectangular marquee. See the style here, and I can choose a fixed size. Now let's say I'm going to just pick a kind of a number at random. I'm going to do 150 by 150. Now it doesn't have to be a perfect square. That's just what I chose. So if I did 150 by 150, whatever whenever I click, it's going to select that size, which you see does not fit over my kayak. So I'm going to have to make it much bigger. Let's try 750 by 750 and let's see how that does. Oops. Oh, sorry, that one got inches, and obviously that's not what I want either. Let me try that one more time. All right, and that gets a better selection. A little bit of me is cut out. However, you can still see what I am doing. So I can choose which part where I want my focal point to be, and I think I got it. So I'm going to copy and come back in here and paste. And then I have a perfect square of my photo there. Okay. Now, you have different ways that you can use these selection tools to select parts of photographs. Okay. What I want to point out here real quick, I've got the Move tool, and notice how no matter what I click on, it moves. Okay. And that's because I have this auto select checked. Okay. If I uncheck it, notice that it just moves whatever layer I have selected. But if I check it, it automatically tries to figure out what layer it is. Now, it doesn't always work. Sometimes you still have to go directly to your layer to figure it out. But here it is. I've got two more things here to show you. One, I'm going to show you this eyedropper. What this eyedropper does is it picks a color for you, and it's going to go here. Okay, so let's say I want to make the entire background of this photo the same color as the sky here. Notice, I don't know if you noticed right here, notice it changed. Okay, and now if I go to my background layer and use the paint bucket and fill, now notice the color of the background is the exact same color as that background of the New York photo. Same thing if I wanted to do here. If I wanted to choose the green of the grass, See how it just popped up here? Okay, and then I can use my paint bucket and fill. Okay, and there it is. It's the exact same color as where I picked. Now this has the, oops, I was on the wrong layer when I used the paint bucket. There we go. All right, so you can see where it's blending in there where I picked it from. So it's up to you as to what you want to use for the eyedropper to choose, but know that you can pick colors out of photos to do that. Now, the last one is the crop tool. Okay, and basically what the crop tool does is it gets rid of parts of your photos that are not necessary. So let's say I want to move the giraffe kind of to the foreground. I moved his layer up to the top, and I can move the seal down a little bit, and I can move her over a little bit. So now, instead of having an 8.5 by 11, I can use the crop tool. Whoops. And let me click don't crop. Evidently the last time I used it, I had it at a fixed size. So I'm going to highlight that and delete it. There we go. All right, so now simply wherever I drag the crop tool, it's going to crop around that. Now it has that same ability as the Marquees did to do a specific size, which is really nice. Or you can just crop it to fit what you have in the photo. And there you have it.